I'm Darren Beyer. I'm co-founder, chief product officer of Qolo, and today we're going to give a little demo and talk about how we're enabling banks and fintechs to launch the next generation of innovative financial products. So, if you think about fintech generally in payments and this whole world that we live in, it's all about connectivity. You may not think about it that way. If you're a fintech, you're thinking, I've got my customers or what have you. But really, at the end of the day, every fintech is all about connecting their customers to underlying banking, payments, and related products. If you're a bank in this world, their customers are fintechs, it's all about connecting your customers, the fintechs, to your banking services, deposit accounts. It's settlement services and money movement services and compliance stuff and those kind of things. So you think this is a match made in heaven, right? But it's not. It's much more of a men are from Mars and women are from Venus kind of thing. Fintechs are up here, banks are down here. Fintechs need now. I need instant access to data, instant money movement. I need RESTful APIs, and the banks are saying, wait a minute. We're sitting on 30-year-old banking cores. We don't know what the heck is going on. I shouldn't say that. That's a bad thing to say. Banks know what's going on, but they can't do anything about it because these banking cores are really not up to snuff. And it's not me saying that. This is American bankers saying 72% of the banks that they surveyed said their banking cores are holding them back, right? So this is a problem for banking. So you say, okay, well, why don't we just cut the core out? It's a piece of software. Let's install a new one. Not so fast. $300 to $400 million in 5 years for a medium-sized bank. And we were talking to one of our larger banking clients, and they're saying, no, it's really more like $750 million to $1 billion in maybe 10 years for us to do that. So ripping and replacing a core really is not the answer. And this is where Qolo comes in, and this is what we call our companion core. We've launched the first ever unified omnichannel payments core. What is that? It's bank-grade ledgering. It's advanced account structures. We are a card issuing processor for Visa, MasterCard, Discover, associated debit networks. We're able to do physical, virtual, tokenized, commercial, and consumer, et cetera, across a card issuing realm. It's about payments. It's about real-time payments. It's about doing push to card, pull from card, more traditional payments like ACH, et cetera. And we're able to do that not sitting on top of other people's infrastructure. We are the infrastructure. So we're able to do this as a first-party processor, and it's about enabling N number of use cases through N number of banks, through N number of fintechs, multi-tenant, multi-bank, multi-product. So we're going to demo some of this today. Now, we're an API-first company, so demos are tough to do. I always groan when someone says, I want to do a demo. And so what we're going to do, the best way for us to show this is on our customer servicing. It's also the same interface that banks would use to look up, say, AML type stuff or doing audits around KYC, et cetera. And this is an example of a disbursements product, and it's being, showing here on the screen. You've got the customer information. By the way, I will say that these are demo accounts in the production environment, but demo accounts because we can't show real customer data. Obviously, there's privacy concerns. So in this particular case, you got a demo user. They're receiving, and this is an example we pulled real data out of a workers' comp disbursement. They've got their card that they can use. They've got their account with their balance. You can go down and look at the transactions. And here's an example of an ACH deposit coming in through PNC Bank. They immediately say, hey, you know what? I want to push that back out to my external bank account. I don't want to use this card. I want to just kind of keep this going. And actually, I'm on the wrong one. Let me switch over to disbursements. So they got their claim disbursement load. They switched it out to PNC Bank. They got their claim disbursement for August. They said, hey, I want my money faster. So I'm going to do a push to card to my Chase debit card. So you can see the money in and then the money out. And then they get their claim disbursement for September, and they say, you know what, I've got this card thing. I can use it right now. I don't need to push the funds out. So you can see the purchases. You can see the e-commerce transactions. These are transactions, all of these, the ACH, push to card, inbound ACH, outbound card transactions. All of this is being done on one core, all through infrastructure level payments processing, whether it's card, whether it's disbursements. Again, all in one place, all through a single core. The next one is looking at neobank. And on the neobanking side, this is an example of more traditional. I've got my ACH coming in. There's fees. I went to Kroger, Big Lots. I went to US Bank ATM. This happens to be a MoneyPass ATM, so it's surcharge free, so I can go in and look at the detail. Let's say I'm someone in the AML side in the bank and I want to look at the KYC information. I can go into more information. Integrated in KYC, compliance, risk fraud information, all sitting here in one platform, one core, one API set. Everything gets access to all of this stuff. And then I go back and I say, I want to look at, well, heck, what accounts can I send money to, or can this customer send money to? We have external instruments. You can see that there's a DDA associated with the card account itself. There's a DDA associated with PNC Bank. They can move money in and out from that. Again, all of this stuff, single core, single account structure, single API set to access all of that. So really what it comes down to, once again, is enabling banks with our companion core product. You don't have to rip and replace. You can take the companion core, stand it beside your existing core, and we end up being the API front end. We end up being the account structure underneath. We end up connecting in through their payment rails, being able to do card processing, all the different payment types. Again, one core, one account and ledger structure, one set of APIs. As a matter of fact, every payment type on our system, every payment you do, is not one set of APIs. We actually do it through a single API. I've resisted forever to use the Lord of the Rings reference. I'm going to do it now. It's the one API to rule them all. We're able to issue all payment types out through a single API. So I've got about 20 seconds left. I want to welcome you guys to come on down to our booth, meet with my colleague Stephanie and I. More than happy to talk through the details of this. Appreciate your time, and thank you for staying late here on a Tuesday.